So what is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a little bit different video than what I would normally do. So I'm kind of trying to branch the channel out and do some more stuff, how-tos and things of that nature. So today is a how-to video, and today I'm going to be plastic dipping or hyper dipping these rims. So I like these rims, they're real nice, but I want to change the aluminum and go with a black because I feel like white with black rims just pops different. So I'm gonna go for a black look on that. Today the product that I'm gonna be using is Hyperdip, and I'll show you guys that here in a little. But for now, I'm gonna get these rims cleaned up. I've already kind of taken the car to the car wash and kind of did a dry run or kind of a first cleaning on the rims. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make sure that everything is cleaned again, so there's no dirt, no grime in the cracks and the crevices with a microfiber. And they do have some pre-dip solution that I bought from them, and I'll show you guys that here in a little. But for now, let's get these rims clean. Alright guys, so I got the wheels clean. Since I already cleaned it at the car wash with some stuff that I had, I just kind of wiped off the any dust or grime that I saw and wiped that off. It's important that none of the wheel is actually wet. You can't have any moisture on it, or else the plastic dip, the hyper dip, won't stick. Now they do give you the pre-dip spray, but that's what I'm about to apply now. So I went ahead and cleaned the wheels. I'll put the pre-dip spray on the wheels, and then after that, then we'll kind of get into some of the hyper dip. So let's get it. Alrighty guys, so here's the pre-dip spray. Now again, this goes on a microfiber before you apply it on the wheel. So the idea is you spray a little on the microfiber and then you apply it on the wheel. This I left inside as well as the hyper dip because I know they said if it's cold outside, which today is like 50, mid 50s, so that you want the temperature or the ambient temperature in the room or wherever you have your hyperdip stored to be between like 60 and 70 for the best application. So I left this inside, but now we're gonna get at it. We're gonna go ahead and apply this on the microfiber and get started. Alright guys, so I just used the pre-dip spray on this first wheel. It recommends that you go back over with another dry microfiber and just kind of wipe it down again. Make sure it's dry, get in the cracks. It's important that you get this in the cracks as well, so that way the plastic or the hyper dip can adhere and stick, and you get a good finish. So we'll get this done. Alrighty guys, so for me and what I want to do with this wheel is to keep the red around this Kia emblem and black everything else out. I like this red because I do have a brake red caliper, and I think it'll go really well together. And if not, then I'll fix it. But I'm pretty sure it'll go good together because I've seen pictures of this wheel being blackened out, everything except for the red emblem there. So I'm gonna keep that red, and so what I'm gonna use is some painter's tape. I'm just go over the red and cover this up, so that way when I'm spraying, it doesn't color my red black. So we'll get Alrighty guys, so as you can see, I did get this I got the emblem all kind of wrapped up, so no spray is going to get on that. And then also, just as a precautionary, I put some trash bags over the car. I don't think this product is actually or actually has a problem with like overspray, but just to be safe, I just went ahead and put some trash bags to cover the car. If you do something like this to your car, hyper dip or any other kind of plastic dip, if it's less windy, like today is not much wind, so I shouldn't have a problem with like any overspray getting carried to the car. And then if you do use the trash bags, just make sure that they're not flapping in the way, because that can get annoying. I kind of have them taped. But yeah, overspray shouldn't be a big deal, but kind of follow those guidelines and you should be okay. The last step that I have before I actually do the plastic or the Hyperdip is to actually use the dip release. So this dip release actually goes on the tires, and you put it on the microfiber kind of like you did the pre-dip spray. And so the idea is using your dip release on the tires will keep it from sticking onto the tires, and so that way when you're peeling all the overspray that was on the tires, because you have to get in these cracks in between the tire and the rim, you still need to get that covered. So when you are peeling, the idea is that it cuts on its own with the groove of the rim, and this release actually keeps it from sticking onto the tire. So you only want this on the tire itself. You don't want this on any of the rim, because whatever you put this, the Hyperdip will not stick to. So I think we are almost ready. I'm gonna get this applied onto the tire and we'll get started on that first coat. Alright guys, so the wheel's cleaned. I used the pre-dip spray. I used the dip release around the tires. So now, and I also covered the emblem. So now I'm ready for that first coat. Everything's dry. And this color is actually shadow black, but what I ended up deciding is that I do have some piano black around my car, the trim, the A-pillars, and so I decided that it would be better to go with the piano black that they sell. But I did check with them, and if you guys ever have to get in touch with anybody at dipyourcar.com, they're very helpful. They'll answer pretty much any question that you have, and like I said, they're real cool dudes. So if you have any questions about anything, give them a call. But I did ask them if I had shadow black and wanted to go to piano black, could I basically stack these products, because I only had 2 cans of the shadow black, and so I didn't want to buy a whole 4 cans of the piano. So I asked if I could stack, and his answer was yes. So it's okay to stack these products. So I'm going to stack. The base layer is going to be the shadow black, and then the last coat or last couple coats is going to be the piano black. So I'll get 3 coats with this 1 can of shadow black on this wheel, and I'll get another coat, 3 coats of shadow black on that other wheel. And then for the other side, I've got another can that I'll do the same thing. So they recommend that you kind of shake this up for a good minute. You'll get that little ball in there, just kind of like a traditional spray can. So you shake for a minute, and then after you're done shaking for that minute, it's time to apply. And once you're ready to apply this, you want to be 4 to 6 inches away from the wheel, so you don't have to be right up on it. This is a product that will run apparently if you're too close. So if you're too close and you're spraying, you'll see runs, and that won't make a good finish at all. So you definitely want to stand back. The first coat, it's not a full coat, so they say look for like 50% coverage. 50% coverage should be okay on the first coat, and then you'll kind of go back and forth on those 3rd and 4th coats and get coverage. So we're gonna shake, and then we'll apply. So I did forget one very important step. Behind the wheel, you want to make sure you put some kind of trash bag behind the wheel, cover the brake, because you don't want any of this on your brakes. So make sure you get your brakes covered, so that way you don't run into any issues down the line. And after you get that done, you're ready to go. So let's get it. Alright guys, so on that first coat, I was a little closer than what I want it to be, and I did start noticing some drip. So what I'm going to do is if I see any big drip, I'm going to go ahead and take a clean napkin or paper towel. I'm going to try to dry that before it dries, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so the biggest thing is make sure that that napkin or that paper towel is clean, because you don't want to drag dirt or whatever else you got on those paper towels onto the wheel. What I saw is that this is pretty thin, I guess is what you would say. It's very watery, liquidy, so you definitely don't need a lot on that first coat, because then you'll run into some of that drip. There's a little wind here and there today, and so I saw some of the wind was picking up, so I had to get a little bit closer. But yeah, if you can do this without any wind inside a garage, it would probably be better. But I'm gonna try to adjust the way I'm spraying and how much I'm spraying, and I'm sure I'll get better by the time I get up to the front wheel. So I'm gonna continue with a little small passes around and see if I can get about 50% coverage. Alrighty guys, so I got the first coat on. It may look like there's more than what there actually is. So I had like a chrome and aluminum type finish on this wheel. So on the inside it was already kind of darker than what it was on the outside. So it's probably not as much as you might think it is. But I did about 50% coverage, maybe a little bit more. And I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna kind of come back and do the second coat. Alright guys, so I think the first coat is pretty much dry, so I'm gonna go with a second coat, and yeah, let's get it. Alrighty guys, so it's time for the first coat on this wheel. Don't forget to use the release dip on the tire, because you don't want this sticking on your tire. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna apply that around this tire, and then the wheel's been clean though, so after I do that, we'll be ready for the first coat. On this coat, compared to the first coat on the first wheel there, I kind of know how this sprays. So the more you use this, the more familiar you are and comfortable using it. So I know this time to really just glide over with a light coat and try to cover 50% of the wheel. Make sure I don't have any drips this time, and I think it's going to end up being a little bit better than the first wheel. Alrighty. Guys, so this was the second coat. We're going for number 3, and as you can see, hopefully you can see, this looks really good. So this will be the third. I may do a 4th coat of the shadow black, and then come back with the piano and just finish it off. So I'm thinking we'll see how this next coat does, and then if we need another one, we'll add another one. But yeah, let's get it. 3rd coat. Alrighty guys, so this has been the 4th coat. I'm thinking I'm gonna just go straight into the shadow, or sorry, the piano black. This was the shadow. I'm losing daylight here because of daylight savings. Now it gets dark around like So it's 5. So I'm losing daylight, but I'm gonna keep this up. And if I can't finish this today, I'll give you guys the finished product tomorrow. So 4 coats of the shadow. I'm gonna do 4 coats of the piano on all the wheels, and I guess we'll see what the final result in our end product is. Alrighty guys, so this is the next day after doing the shadow black 4 coats and then doing the piano black 4 coats. And it turned out great. It looks like, to me, it looks like this came out of the factory like this. It leaves a really good finish, some nice gloss with the piano black, and I'm pretty much impressed with everything. When you go to peel the excess like overspray that went on the tire, all you have to do is just kind of pull up here and then just start peeling. It's really simple. Comes off really easy. And you can notice it starts to actually cut inside that groove, so it doesn't peel from the actual wheel. It kind of cuts for you, which is really cool. Alrighty guys, so we finished up here with the wheels and it looks awesome. Here's the final product. Alrighty guys, well that's it for this vlog, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.